and welcome to this episode of The Capitalist Investor. As always, you have me, Diamond Hands D, and we got the whole crew back together again. Cool Hand Luke, Tony the Tiger. What's going on, guys?
What's up, man?
How was assignment, Tony?
Assignment. I had to go overseas. I went deep in the trenches. But no, I visited Rome for first time, and it was different, man. You know what? The biggest crazy thing that blew me away in Rome is that nearly 80 to 90% of like every building is graffitied. Like
it's art.
Dude, it must be a culture thing. I mean, somebody listening probably knows way more than I do, but like it's everywhere. So at first I'm like, are we in a bad area? And I'm like, well, it's everywhere, so this can't all be bad, right? So no, I guess. Because you in America, like you kind of associate graffiti with being in a bad area, right? So
food was good.
You know what? I got robbed on the food because I was like at a hotel at a conference essentially, and I ate a lot of banquet food.
Yeah, it wasn't the same.
So it's definitely not the same. And then the food that I did eat, like I think it was like too bougie of a restaurant. So like, like you order raviolis and you get like 4. It's like, what's next? No wonder they're eating 6 courses because I need like 20 more of these raviolis. No wonder why they're so
damn skinny over there.
I came home like less weight. I don't know. So the wine was great. They had this pizza that they put like potatoes on, like think of a scallop potato on pizza.
Sounds
like they said that's like one of their like best kept secrets, but yet one of their best pizza. It was absolutely awesome. It wasn't a red sauce. It was like a pesto.
I'm sure it tasted authentic too. Like I'm sure like it had a different taste to what American pizza has. Like you can taste probably the more organicness, the healthierness probably of that.
That's the thing. Like all the noodles you would taste, like they just had a different, it was nice.
I didn't bring lunch today. Now you're making me hungry.
Yeah. It sounds so weird, but like I think I might have had the best cup of orange juice I've ever had in my entire life. Like
fresh.
It was so, I don't know. There was just certain things, but then I'd have an espresso and then it's just like straight octane, man. But anyway, let's
glad you're back safely.
Yeah, thanks. All right,
especially with all the craziness. I'm flying tonight and not looking forward to it. So I don't like, especially overseas. I'm going to Vegas tonight. I'm speaking with Charles Payne.
Oh, nice.
In Vegas. I get the main stage finally, which is cool. Usually they put me in kind of like a side room and talk to like maybe 10% of the conference, but I actually get the main stage this time, which I'm pumped up about.
All right.
Hopefully, if anyone listening is, I know there actually are some people that listen to this podcast that go to the money shows. So if you see me out there, say hi. Looking forward to seeing you guys out there.
What are you talking about?
Elections, I think, is the big topic that me, Mike Lee, and Charles Payne are talking about. Industrials and financials is a topic for one of the others, and then I end the conference. I'm the closer, like you usually are. You're the closer, right? Playing the countdown. I'm the closer with Charles Payne as well, and I think we're talking about basically where the markets are heading into the end of the year. So we'll see.
Awesome.
I don't have a crystal ball, but I'll give some data. We'll see what happens.
All right, cool.
So today we got some actual stats and things around earnings because earnings season is here, and we finally get a glimpse of what the future holds for technology specifically with Microsoft earnings, AMD earnings. You have some consumer discretionary earnings out there like Starbucks. I think this morning you saw like Boeing report, MasterCard report. You saw Kraft Heinz, some consumer products reports. So I think that, there's a lot of signals, both good and bad, that are out there. And I think today we're going to go through kind of the mix of what we think, what are the telltale signs of what's to come, digesting Q2 earnings.
Yeah. I know that, we're about 40% through earnings right now. So there's some good data on what's going on. So first and foremost, Microsoft reported. It was crazy that like as soon as they reported, they were down 8 or 9%, and they're probably going to open around -1, time of this podcast. So again, when you're priced for perfection, like, and you don't hit the numbers exactly right, there's not going to be a 3 or 10% bump. You're going to be down or flat.
Well, they were down 10%.
I know. At the beginning. After hours, yeah. But like as the night went through and we wake up, they're down like 2, and they'll probably open up -1 or something like that. Is what I'm guessing. So
why didn't people investors like Microsoft earnings. I have my kind of thoughts. Do you guys have any thoughts real quick?
For Microsoft? Again, when you're priced for perfection and you hit 9 out of 10 things, and the ninth, the 10th one is the most,
the most important. So
quote unquote important,
yeah.
Right? The data, that all the AI,
cloud, data,
all that stuff.
So that's the thing. Like they crushed, like kind of we were expecting, everyone was expecting. They crushed earnings, but the one thing that's actually the most important part to this whole kind of rally we've seen, cloud business, AI implementation, institutional buying from Microsoft on their Azure platform, that came in pretty light. And when their most highest growth platform, highest growth part of their earnings comes in light, what does that tell you about the economy? When you also combine that with the fact that AMD crushed their earnings with AI, what's happening?
But it's one quarter, man.
Right.
Like it's this AI wave has been going on for 2 years already.
Yep.
Okay, one quarter out of 8 or 12.
Yep.
I'm not overly concerned. I'm not, oh my God, we're going into recession or depressions and because they missed their thing by 1%. Like,
Yep.
Those are projections,
Yep.
right? And wishful thinking is what I'll call it. And if you miss it by 1%, is that really,
No.
they're gonna get a pull down because they didn't, beat and raise or whatever. Like I'm not overly concerned about what's going on. What I am concerned about, I'm gonna grind a gear here and go into Starbucks. Is Starbucks reported, and like here in the United States, everything's down like mid-single digits, like, customer revenues, all that stuff, like store visits. In China, it's like mid-teens.
Yep.
Like, so what I would say about that is the consumer is hurting.
Yep.
And, that in the United States, that 5, 6, 7%, and that 11, 12, 13 in China, that's probably, middle class and below,
Yep.
is not going to Starbucks anymore. I'm sure like the higher end consumer is, feeling a pinch, but not enough to give up their obsession with coffee. But the lower end is. That's why I started making French presses at home, guys. Like now
I was walking through Trader Joe's yesterday, and they have the beans. I'm like, maybe we should get invest a little bit of money and get one of those bean grinders so we can actually grind our own beans too, and all that kind of thing.
French press that thing, man.
Or it's worth the money. I will say in China, they're talking about China. I have a buddy that's selling a house currently over in China. He's American citizen now, but he was born in China, and he's inherited his father's house over there. And he said he can't really sell it right now. He's struggling to sell it. The only offers he's got, he already went low ball on what the realtor said he could get. They already went low on the price, and he's only getting offers 20% lower. And this is like a $600,000 house over there in U.S. dollars. And he's getting offers
where?
In China. So it's a $600,000 house, U.S. dollars in China, and he's getting offers 20% lower. I mean, people, the middle class America over there, middle class not America, middle class China. The average home people are buying is like $400,000, $500,000, $600,000 because of inflationary pressures. Like China's very dense and things like that. So the fact that he's getting offers 20% lower, like what does that tell you? You're not seeing that happen here in the United States where people are offering 20% lower. You're getting asking price or even above in a lot of areas still. Maybe not Texas, maybe not Florida, but I think the telltale sign is that the housing market's weak. So is the U.S. or so is the consumer, and obviously in China that's happening.
I keep on reading reports on how. There's a oversupply, a large supply of new homes and no existing homes. So I don't understand. Like, dude, I think all that tells me right there, just that sentence alone, not digging into numbers and how much is over and above, but man, like that just tells me like your existing house that you think is worth, $200,000-$400,000, just chop 20% off of that. I don't know, within the next year and a half.
Yep.
Because, okay, if interest rates don't come down fast enough, no one's getting out of their old home, and who's buying the new homes?
Yep.
Right? And no one's going to really, those new homes might not start being bought until interest rates come down. Right. So now you're going to have new homes being bought and people trying to sell their old homes at inflated prices, and they're going to get their feet chopped
We'll talk
off.
about earnings. You're seeing home builders actually do pretty well. Like the home builders
because
actually
they
are doing
built
well.
a bunch of homes.
Right. And also, though, it's cheaper, almost on par, if not cheaper, to build a house now than to buy a current house that's on the market. So you're seeing more
True.
people transition from just going to buy a used 50-year-old house to then buy a new house. Yeah. Because lumber prices have come down a little bit too. Combining McDonald's as well with Starbucks, that's very interesting. Kind of hits on what you kind of said, that the lower class or the lower income consumers getting hit. The $5 Happy Meal is the saving grace for McDonald's, and that's not good.
Going to McDonald's is not like saving money on eating.
No,
it's not anymore. Like, you don't walk out of the drive-through without spending at least $20 at McDonald's.
Especially when you're fat ass like me.
What happened to the dollar menu, man? Gone forever.
Yep.
Period. Literally gone forever. And then you got AMD. They're running. All right.
And they're taking up NVIDIA with it, with expectations.
Well, I mean, this would most likely be the time to buy NVIDIA because it's down 25% from its high or something like that. Or
Well, Jim
20%?
Kramer said it's not. So what's that?
Oh, really?
What's that signal?
It's not
say?
what?
It's not the time to buy. He said.
Oh,
so does that
my
mean
God.
Does that mean it
That's
is the
definitely
time to
time
buy?
to
Get me those. Get me
Absolutely.
those call options.
Yeah,
Get
I might have to
like,
investigate that
Wow,
today.
He said that yesterday, and it's up 8% this morning.
And now
Is
this
it
is
really?
not now, guys. Everybody, this isn't financial advice. This is us talking about our personal accounts. What we do with our with our investment team is more calculated than us saying, "Oh my God, Jim Kramer said that. Let's hop on." So I just want to let everyone know that we have a system and a process for our investment strategies for our clients. I think me, Luke, and Derek are all talking about our personal
anti-Kramer is a proven strategy. I don't know what you're talking about.
It's being studied at Harvard and
Yeah,
Yale
exactly.
at this business school, Columbia Business School.
All right. Well, why don't we get into some of your
real quick, I will wrap this all up, though, and I will say that Microsoft, I think, whiffing the 1% or whatever on the cloud business, I think means that investors are going to look outside of Microsoft somewhat and reposition money into more AI plays. So I think Microsoft missing on the cloud kind of AI side, Azure, I think will actually benefit AMD and NVIDIA, if that makes sense.
No. Please elaborate now.
Well, investors want growth, and investors are going to position their money accordingly to where the growth is. And if Microsoft is still not delivering the growth around the cloud and AI, even if it's one quarter, they're going to reposition some assets into other AI areas that are growing.
Their earnings was a nothing burger, so like let's go
buy more NVIDIA.
let's go find the
Let's
new,
go buy more AMD.
the
and
new
NVIDIA.
hot stock on the block.
Yeah, exactly.
That's why
That's what
AMD
the AI stuff seems like, honestly. It just seems like anyone says AI in their earnings calls, people just throw money at it for a while.
It's like the 3D printing back in like
It was like
2017.
NFTs.
Yeah,
back
exactly.
in the day.
Everything's got cycles.
All right. But I did have one more thing. So I wanted to make this its own podcast, but I was voted against it. But like, there are some crazy things going on right now, and here's the two crazy things that I think is absolutely insane. The NFL is making some terrible moves with like the way football is being played, especially like the onside kick. Like, so what they're doing is they are not allowing onside kicks until the fourth quarter. You have to be losing to be able to do the onside kick, and then you got to tell the other team it's coming. Like, what is going on? I think that's absolutely crazy.
I know what's going on.
What's going
Derek,
on?
do you have a thought before I interrupt?
You had another NFL take too, right?
Roger Goodell doesn't want the kickoff in the game anymore, so they're trying to take it out.
Take the kickoff away?
Yep. So basically, what you're seeing this year is like a compromise to keep the kickoff in the game. Is it going to be good? I don't know.
Didn't they almost eliminate the kickoff anyway by moving it up 10 yards and everyone kicks in the end zone anyway?
Yeah, so there's new rules with the kickoff. You basically have to a regular kickoff, you have to land it in front of the end zone basically. There's like a landing zone. It's a whole thing. You gotta Google it. It's
Landing zone, like a plane.
Yeah, it's like the XFL kickoff, basically. If you've ever seen that,
I don't watch the XFL.
Yeah,
Who watches the XFL?
No one really.
No one really, but
they have the XFL. So yeah, the NFL kickoff rules are completely different. I think week one's going to roll around and
everyone's going to be like, "What's going on?" Maybe it'll start in preseason. Be like, "That's what we have to look forward to." Mm-hmm. Awesome.
I'm telling you,
what's your take?
It's Vegas.
Oh,
It's where I'm going. It's Vegas.
Vegas.
It's big changes in games like that can really shift, the betting odds live or whatever it be, or people that, statistically should win or shouldn't win. I think that truly, the more things you take out of the game that make it uncertain,
more
the more
predictable
statistics you can use to back actually who should be winning. So Vegas, it's a Vegas money-making machine.
Running a kickoff back for a touchdown and getting in I don't know what you want to say, successfully getting an onside kick.
Yeah.
Like those are low probability things, right?
I mean, you can go from like a live plus 1,000 losing team to then minus 200 because they got an onside kick.
I can see the predictability angle if you take out the two of the things that can really skew like the score, right? Mm-hmm. But anyway, I get it.
I think it's a Vegas thing.
I like the angle. I can buy into that.
You got another hot take over there?
Oh yeah, one more. Man, it's a longer section
than
I wanted. But I was looking at the presidential betting odds, and regardless of your political affiliation, I thought it was absolutely insane to see that the popular vote is projected by Vegas to be taken by Kamala Harris. She's going to win the popular vote based on betting odds. Mm-hmm. That blew my mind. Because I don't even know if she's going to be the candidate because like everyone's saying like, well, she was just like gifted this nomination. Like there was no voting. Not a single person voted for her to be in that position.
Well, you just saw, I think, the betting odds about who's actually going to be president. Now, the popular vote go down from 70% though on Trump down to like 55 because of Kamala. Like Biden, like once he gave this, debate, once Trump got shot, he was up to like 70% chance of winning. And then Kamala, they announced her, and then just you see a tank. Like, really?
I think you need to he needs a debate with her.
Well, he's going to, I think.
If you're a Trump fan, I'm not, again, no affiliations with political parties, but I think a debate would be extremely interesting.
So what does that tell you, though, about America? That she's going to be projecting to win the popular vote through the betting odds. This goes back to my theory. And again, I don't want to sound any kind of way. But America's values and the reasons why they vote, the reasons why they care about politics is for the wrong. That is
for the what?
Wrong. They don't have. There's no substance to why someone votes for something other than the fact that it's Republican and Democrat. Mm-hmm. The two-party system has messed everything up in today's world, and people don't care about what you stand for, what your policies actually are going to do. They only care if you have a D or R in front of your name.
That's very true. The time for nuance and debate and talking through different issues definitely seems to be in the past.
The uneducation of the average American voter is what is scary. Because on political issues. Because I actually saw something on Twitter. Somebody had this lady on like CNN or CNBC or some station. I didn't check the station. I just was blown away by what she said. She goes, JD Vance. They keep on calling him weird. I don't know. I'm trying to like get my head around that one too.
I mean, I'm weird. I mean, everyone's weird.
But anyway, she made a comment saying JD Vance only wants white babies. And like the fact check, his wife is like Indian and he has interracial babies. So and that's where I just turned the light off and I'm like, I gotta go to bed. Like this is just again, and that just rings true what I just said. The uneducation of maybe the average the voting population just doesn't know the values, the angles, the political agendas, like what it actually means for them to vote for somebody.
I'm going to end with this. In our industry, we have to try to play chess to see 5 years, 10 years, 20 years in the future. We have to kind of try to have that crystal ball, even though we don't. I think the problem with the education that you're kind of talking about in today's America is people don't view the world and where's the country going to be 5 years, 10 years, 20 years, 50 years from the repercussions of policies and things we do in today's world. People only care about the here and now and how they can put more money in their pocket, how they can change initiatives to do things now. They don't look to history of how past policies have affected the future, and they don't look to how current policies are going to affect the future. I think that's the edge on education, is people don't look far enough into the future to see the path we're heading down and what's actually going to happen from the policies implemented.
Yep, they play to the least common denominator, that's for sure. All right, well, thanks for listening this week. If you guys have any questions, comments, concern, hit us up at info@swpconnect.com, and we'll talk to you next week.